Hello everybody, it's Bill from GMAT and GRE, and Math Made Simple. And of course, I'm going to do the last part here, which is our GRE questions that were posed on Monday. In the last video, we went to do the GMAT. This one, we're going to do the GRE. So, let's get started. The first question we have that was posed on Monday was, if negative 4 is a solution for x, negative 4 is a solution for x squared plus kx plus 8 equals 0, what is k? Okay? Now, what we could do is this. We could take the negative 4 that we have in there and substitute it for every x that's in there. So say we take this negative 4, we put negative 4 squared plus, let's put negative 4 in parentheses, times k, plus 8 equals 0. Okay? Now, let's go through and do everything we can do that's easy. So negative 4 squared is 16, we'll say, plus negative 4 times, let's do it quick, times k plus 8 equals 0. Let's get the like terms together. We have 24 plus negative 4k equals 0. We'll subtract 24 minus 24. We get negative 4k equals negative 24. Divide by negative 4. K will equal, since 24 and 20 goes in here, this will make this positive 6. Okay? So now, if we were to go through here and check this, let's do our check. Let's see, get a screenshot if you need to. Okay? So if k equals 6, let's check. So we have negative 4 is already there, so we have negative 4 squared, like we did last time. We're going to put the x, everything that we have there, and then we have plus 6, okay, times negative 4, keep those together, plus 8 equals 0. So when you do that, we have 16 plus, because that's, we have the exponents there, use our order of operations. And we see that 6 times negative 4 is negative 24, plus 8 equals 0. Okay, let's do the positives together. So 16 plus 8 is 24 plus a negative 24 equals 0. And of course, when you do that, 0 equals 0, the answer checks. Okay? So that's the first question. Let you get a screenshot if you want to do the whole checking thing. Okay? Let's go on to the second question, because this one has multiple equations, but we're trying to figure out which one is which. So let's go through this together. Okay, therefore, if 8 and negative 4 are solutions for x, so that means equals x, which of the following could be the equation? Now, when it comes to the equations, I'll write them down quick. And e. Righty. Minus 4x minus 32 equals 0. X squared minus 4x plus 32 equals 0. X squared plus 4x minus 12. Ooh, make that a little bit bigger for you. And the last one. Okay? These are what we need to figure out if all these two will work equals 0. So in order to figure that out, we need to break down each one of them. So first, we'll go through and figure out what do these two conjugate, all these conjugate to. But first, let's do the first one. So I'll do A, and then we'll go and erase them, and then we'll go from each one. The thing about it is that once we find the right one, we're not going to go through every single one of them, because when you're during this GRE, you will be in a crunch for time. So we're going to go through each one of them, and then as soon as we get it done, we'll move on to the next question. Okay? So 8 and negative 4 have to be what x is for whatever one of these equations here. So what we're going to do is we'll start with A. So A, we need to conjugate A. So we have x squared minus 4x minus 32 equals 0. Okay? So we need to figure out what times what, let's do this, equals 0. We have x and x. So we see that the x we have here is negative in the middle and negative at the end. So it means that there's going to be a positive and a negative. But as we can see, the negatives will be more easier, and they have to multiply up to 32 and 4. So we see that the multiples that go up to 32 are 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32. But 132 is too far away because it won't give us a 4. Neither does 2 and 16, but 8 and 4 do. But since the sign here is negative, we mean that the 8 has to be here and the 4 has to be here. Okay? So now what you do is, since these are both here, we can go and set both to 0. X minus 8 equals 0. And we're still looking for, see if which one of these works. So you subtract 4, x minus 4, well, x equals negative 4. So that kind of checks off the balance right here for this one. So boom, good. And this one, we have to add 8, x equals 8. So looks like this equation right here is the correct equation, because it solves both x being 8 or negative 4. And we can see how we did that right there. So I'm not going to go through each other one because each other one will not work. Okay? So let's go on to the next question. Says if 16 minus y squared equals 10 times 4 plus y, what is y? So what we can do here is we'll go through and get all pretty much do what we did last time when it comes to the last equation, and we'll make this equal to 0. So before we can do that, we have to make sure we do all this work here. So get rid of that quick, and let's do 16 minus y squared equals 10 times y. Yep, 10 times y. Well, times 4 plus y. Sometimes it looks similar. Equals 10 times 4, which is 40. Plus 10y. Okay, now we can move things over. So let's do this. Let's add y squared to make it easier. And we'll get 16 equals y squared plus 10y plus 40. Now to get this to 0, we subtract 16 from both ways. We get 0 equals y squared plus 10y plus 24. Now in order to figure out what y is, we need to figure out what equals 10 and 24. Since they're both positive, that leads to me being that that everything here is positive. Just like we did before, 0, and we'll get this conjugated as well. We have y and y, because using the FOIL method. So what is a multiple of 24? When you add them together, will give us 10. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. So 1 plus 24 does not give 10. Neither does 2 plus 12 or 3 plus 8, even though it's close. But 4 times 6 does equal that. So we have y plus 4 and y plus 6. So when you look at that, now you can do what we did last time, put 0 equals y plus 4. And 0 equals y plus 6. When you find that out, you subtract 4 from here, you get negative 4 equals y, and you will find out that negative 6 equals y as well. So negative 4 and negative 6 are the answers to that question. Make sure you put and, because otherwise, if you say or, you'll be wrong. Okay? On to the next question. It says, if x squared minus 10 equals negative 1, what's x? So let's get that like we did for the last one. We have x squared minus 10 equals negative 1. Let's get this over to here. So we have x squared plus 1, x squared minus 9, okay, equals 0. Okay, so in order for this to happen, it needs to have two multiples that will cancel out. It's got to be a positive and it's got to be a negative. And it's got to be something that multiplies against itself to get 9. So the only thing I can think of that will go into 9 would be 1, 3, and 9. So in this case, it would be 3 and 3. If you want to go and conjugate this, again, it would be x squared plus 3x minus 3x minus 9. And this, of course, will cancel out, leaving us to our original, which is right there. Okay? So, and this equals 0. So we have x plus 3 equals 0 and x minus 3 equals 0. Now minus 3, x equals negative 3, and you add 3 here, x equals 3. So that'll be the answer for number 4. Let's go on to our last question. It says if x squared minus 13x equals 30, what is x? Okay, so let's get the equation down here and we'll do it like we did the last few times. Equals 30. Okay, so now let's subtract 30 to get us to 0. Minus 30, you have x squared minus 13x minus 30. Okay? So we'll go from there. And this equals 0. Okay? So now we're going to figure out what multiples of 30, because you can see right here, this is negative. That means that one of these has to be positive and one of these has to be negative. But the negative has to be 13. So now we're trying to figure out what are the multiples of 30 that when you subtract each other, or when you subtract one from the other, it'll give us the 13. So the multiples that we have of 30 are 1 and 30, 2 and 15, and 6 and 5. Well, 1, yeah, and 3 and 10. We have that as well. So when I look at it, when you subtract one from the other, 1 and 30 will give us 29. 2 and 15 will give us 13. So that gives us that right there. And we're not going to go any further because the other ones do not work. So we see that this is a negative. So that means that this has to be the higher one, 15 and 2. Because when you have plus 2 and a negative 5 multiplied, it gives us negative 30. And of course, since it's negative, the negative's got to be bigger. Now, let's go through and put both of these equal to 0. And we can solve for x. There's the answer for number 5. Okay? So that's all we have for this week. I'll post some new questions on Monday like I did this week. And if you like this video, please like and share. I will be uploading these to YouTube. I implore you to follow me on here on Instagram. I also have a Facebook group called GMAT and GRE Math Made Simple. I would like for you to go check out my member vault area. I do have some online courses. I know doing the one-on-one might be a little, iffy right now with what's going on out in the world today. But if you like to do things on your own, I have questions set up for you so you can do the online learning yourself and not have to worry about buying a book, or you can do things on your own. I see that people doing online distance learning have been beneficial. So if you want to do that, check out my link, which I'll post a little bit later for my member vault to see what I have, and we'll go from there. Just let me know what you're gonna do, the GRE or the GMAT. I'll put both there anyway. So until next time, I'll see you guys on next Thursday. All right, bye-bye.